Excuse me, I should have cleared my throat beforehand. Cable management was never my thing, you know. So it is recommended though to have good cable management, especially in newer machines, because airflow is very important and pretty critical. I was going to reassemble this machine from scratch, take it all out again and put it all back in again, but there's no real point. So we'll just see what RAMs we have in there. That'll be interesting. Anyway, at least it's something else. With the RAM we have there is 128 megabytes of 133 megahertz sync RAM. Before you take any components out of the system, make sure you ground yourself. If you're near a radiator or something that's grounded to the ground, fucking bit of copper or something that might be there, just touch off and ground yourself. Or if you have the power supply still in the machine, what you can do is leave the power supply plugged in, obviously with the machine turned off. Touch the power supply, that'll alert you, that'll ground you. Then take the power out before you continue to work. Always work on a machine where the power plug is unplugged, for the safety of yourself and the safety of the components. As sometimes a bit of residual, electricity can flow through the cables of the power supply and they give you a nasty bang. Okay, so putting the RAM in, we're just taking it out. Putting the RAM in is very easy. Just make sure you have these little, just zoom in there and I'll show you. Hold on. All I need here is really is a cameraman, That's really what I need. When we start making the mega bucks, we'll get a cameraman. That is actually one thing you can do on YouTube, is make money out of your videos. I've seen a lot of guys do that, that I've watched over the years. They use Patreon and all sorts of stuff. As much as I'd like to do that and make some money on it, I don't think I'd make enough videos to keep you interested. As I have, obviously, I've got a job to go to, so I'd have to quit that first, and I don't think it'll be enough anyway. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay, so just make sure that the little clips are pushed out before you put the RAM in. Okay, and then make sure then that your notches on your RAM are correct to the notches on the board itself. Okay, so in goes the RAM. Oh, that's Windows 10 there, turning itself off. I have a Windows 2000 machine behind me as well. The Windows 2000 machine behind me is the Dell machine I was showing you. As it turns out, I've been trying to run my account software. Here's one for you. My account software was designed for Windows... One second actually, hold on a second, I'll tell you now. It was designed for... Good lord. It was designed for Microsoft Windows 98 2nd Edition, Microsoft Windows ME, Microsoft Windows NT version 4 with Service Pack 6, Windows 2000 with Service Pack 2, or Microsoft Windows XP with Service Pack 1A. So I had it installed originally on a Windows 98 machine. I quickly changed it to a Windows 2000 machine, and then that was quickly changed to an XP machine. I would change operating systems fairly rapidly in the day, so as I could keep up and so as I could make sure that my customers, knew the latest sort of tips and tricks of the operating system. So when another operating system would come out, I would generally at least change one machine over to it in case there's some hiccups. The 98 to 2000 transition was fine. The 98 to XP transition was a bit of a glitch. I did use Windows ME on one machine, I think, just as a demo, but I took it off fairly quick. I went back to Windows 98 in that one. The Windows XP to Windows Vista, I had not a demo version, I had a release to, what the hell, RTC they call it, what the hell is it called, release technology, anyway, basically it's an early release of the operating system that they give out to OEMs and people like that, and allows you to evaluate the operating system. So I had done that with Vista, and I done actually also with Windows 7 and Windows 10. I got the copies of the three of them. The Windows Vista I used on a machine, an older machine which was very bad. I used it on a more modern machine and I worked a treat. So it was beautiful on a modern machine that was like just off the factory floors, as it were. Windows 7 installed flawlessly and everything. The Windows 8 I installed on one of the mega machines there recently. And then last year, when the Windows 10 upgrade came along, I changed it to Windows 10 straight away, and it's been beautiful. Windows 10 I think is fantastic. Windows 10 is like the leap from Windows 3.1 to Windows 95. It's that nice transition, but it's also a nice machine. The reason why I'm mentioning this was to do with the software, the accounting software. As I said, the machine in the background is running Windows 2000. The software worked with 98, it worked with XP, it worked with Vista perfectly, it worked with Windows 7 perfectly, it even worked with Windows 8.1 perfectly. It was no problem at all with it. As soon as I installed Windows 10, stopped working. And I don't know why, because apparently Windows 8 and Windows 10 are very similar of an operating system, but the software doesn't work with it. So of course, I'm not in the business anymore. I'm just trying to do some basic stuff with it, just mess about with it. I couldn't run it, so I said, feck it. I'll install Windows 2000 on the machine, and everything will be tickety-boo, you know. So it worked, and I'm using it on the machine, everything's okay. Excuse me, just getting a bit of tea there. Now, before you install machines cabling for, let's just bring that out now. Whoop, that's a good zoom there. Steven Spielberg would be proud of that manoeuvre. We'll come back in again then, actually. Just nice and slow. Whoa, nice and slow. Now, what you can see here coming into view is the CD-ROM drive at the top. At the bottom, we have the hard drive. And this is the hard drive. This is a 3¼ inch floppy drive, and this is a CD-ROM drive. This little peg down here is known as a jumper, and there's one on this one here as well. This is set to master. This one here will be set to slave on most machines. It's set to master on this one, simply because we've got two ports. I'll try and bring it around and show you. We have two ports on the motherboard. Okay, and those two ports on the motherboard allow me to install two master hard drives. Now, the colour on them is also very important. The colour on these does actually mean something. A lot of machines you'll have a blue and a black. The blue would generally be the primary, and the black would generally be the secondary. In the case of this one, we have the secondary, which is the white, and the primary, which is the black. So on all machines, modern or old, you should really replace these old 40 ribbon cables to the new type of 80 ribbon cable. They work on the old machines just as good as they do on the new ones, and I found that hard drives that had bad sectors on old PCs suddenly had no bad sectors when I used one of these cables and low-level formatted them on an older machine. So it does make a difference. They can help with errors and that sort of stuff. Well, help to eliminate errors. Okay, so we bring that back out there so as you can see what's going on. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to install the ribbon cables. And of course we're going to be very neat when we do it. Of course we are, because we're always very neat. You'll notice as well on the ribbon cables there's a long part, as it were, and there's a short part. Try to keep these cables as short as possible. The shorter the better, less chance of errors. But the way it works is this is your motherboard part, this is your slave part, and this is your master part. So on these old drives, which doesn't exist on the SATA drives, let me just show you a SATA drive. There is the SATA drive. On a SATA drive, you just plug in the power, plug in the cable, no jumpers needed. Brilliant. So every SATA cable goes directly back to the motherboard. In this situation, it's a bit different. In this situation, you have to set, as I said already, a master or a slave depending, and a master or a slave depending. You can also do cable select. To be honest with you, I've always found cable select to be problematic. I've never had great success with it, so I always manually select whether it's a slave or a master. It just eliminated problems. I used to do it where I just leave a cable select, the customer would ring up, oh, the drive's not working, it's gone, it's this, and you'd be scratching your head and then realise then that was set the cable select, and it just meant that you just changed the master or slave and everything was fine. But anyway, sometimes it's good not to do that anymore. So that's that in there. Bit of cable management here, shove that in there, yeah, that's it, perfect, lovely. Can't see that anymore. I was never big on the old cable management. And here is another one here now. Now, see here, see. So usually it's blue, that's your system board. See, this one actually tells you this is great. And this one's a master. See? So this cable here only has the two connectors on it. So you always plug this end into your hard drive, this end into your board, and it's color coordinated to help you out. Obviously in this motherboard the socket on the floor there is actually black, but it doesn't matter. We just get that out of the way for a minute. I'm going to put the floppy drive in next. The floppy drive cable then is an old cable I'm using. The reason for the use of the old cable is so I can show you. Now there's a twist in the cable. The twist in the cable is to help with interference. To help to create interference. No, it's to help to eliminate interference. Just the way I said that. So this is the style that came out eventually, but this is the original style of floppy drive connector, and it's notched, so you couldn't put it in backwards. So you can choose either this one or this one, and again you can choose either this one or this one, or you can choose this one or this one. You can add a couple of floppy drives to the same cable. What's the word for it? The error correction and error tolerance on a floppy drive is a little bit more vague than it is in a hard drive, and doesn't matter as much. But when it comes to a hard drive, it has to be a hell of a lot more accurate. So again, there's a red strip on this. Some floppy drives are notched, some are not notched. I'm going to put the light in there to try and see which way is which. The red stripe goes towards me, so I will do that now. If you put the cable in wrong on one of these babies and the light in the floppy drive is constantly on, just turn this cable over. That's all it is, you just put it in backwards. It's not really the end of the world. Again, there's a notch on this. Quality cables will have a notch. There's no notch on this one, but quality cables have a piece of plastic out of there or a missing leg underneath, so you can't put it in wrong on the board. This isn't a quality cable. This is an AST computer. What do you expect? AST, what do they know? So they're going out of business. But yes, this is actually out of an old AST computer, so they are a little bit of history. Another one of the premium machines, I think. I have a hell of a lot of those machines too. Okay, so this is your hard drive edge connector. Again, this one actually is notched, as you can see. It's a proper notch on this one. Proper job. So the notch matches the notch on the. Hope you can see that. Try and put the light in there for you. Now I'll zoom in there for you. Hold on. Now, as you can see on the hard drive, at the very top there is a notch. So I'm hoping you can see it. I'll get my hand on the other side. So there's your little notch there. See? So that notch on the cable links into that notch there, and everything will be tickety-boo. Again, great cable management going on here, as you can see. Fantastic. So let's plug that in there. Excusez-moi. Excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît. Merci beaucoup. Now we'll put in the my arm. We'll put in the very technically advanced video card, which is 16 megabytes. The video card I have on my main machine, in case you're wondering, is an is an AMD Radeon HD video card. I think it's the 3. I think it's the 3. So I should really do it like that. So as you can see what's going on. So make sure it's well seated. Some AGP video cards actually have a little clip at the very end here. This one doesn't. Be very careful with AGP video cards as well. Some AGP video cards have a special notch on them, and so just be aware of that notching system. Yeah, it's an ATI card. I'm currently playing a bit of Grand Theft Auto 5 actually on it, which is entertaining to say the least. Although I don't recommend it for young children, no, but it is a bit of fun. I love the way it actually takes the mick out of itself and knows that it's a video game, and takes the mick, saying that a lot of people who are buying the game don't think it's a video game. Self-deprecating, I think that's called. So what we'll do here is we will screw the clip here at the back in. I'm trying to make sure I don't have my arm in the way, so I'm trying to look at the screen here while I'm doing this. I've had my arm in the way there a few times. We're doing this in one take, which is always interesting. I find it more organic to do it in one take. I did do the Dell one alright in a couple of takes, and took 2 different bits and bobs, but it was just the nature of the beast. This one I like to do it in one take, so they're sort of like quickies, so unscripted. So we scupper ourselves there. Let me try and plug this in. Hope not. No, we should be alright. He plugs in there. The sound card in this machine is on the motherboard, so that's why I plugged the cable in down there. This is the sound from the CD-ROM. That's what that's for. Actually, yeah. Okay, so now you put that cable in wrong, it shouldn't go in there. Probably not, sure. We'll cause a fire anyway. Now, and then finally we have the power supply. Power supply on this. What do I have it? It's a 250 watt power supply. Wow. Yeah, 250 watt would probably be the minimum for this. I'd say if you had stock of it, stick in at 300 or 350. There's no harm sticking in a little bit more power. It just means that the power supply doesn't have to work as hard. And it means that the power supply will last a lot longer. Let me turn this around maybe so that you can see where I'm plugging these cables. The big power block I plugged into the motherboard. So there we are there. Big power block I plugged in down here. This one here, this is plugged into the motherboard here. That's the motherboard. I have a cable for the CD-ROM drive. It's maybe backwards, I'll know in a second. Oh, we got two cables. You see, because it's the one for the floppy drive is smaller, so I'm just trying to make sure I don't. It's probably better to plug these in first. My big arm is in the way again. Can't see in there really, but again, it's just plugged in down here. You see, and then there's one more spare. Put that in there, and this is a nice little one to put together. That's him. I should say out of the way. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. It's beautiful cable management. How could anybody give out about that? Anyway, cable management is very important. Apart from keeping your machine cool, if you have a great big window on the side of your case, that's when it's important. It'll make it look pretty inside. Anyway, that's it. That's the video of me putting it back together. I know that it was very exciting. I hope you've learned something new at least anyway, or at least you've seen something new. And I'd like to say thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoy the videos. Leave your comments down below, and I'll see you around. Thanks again.